games. We're excited on the road to kick off the ACC season, and a team that got the best of us here at home to end last year. So a great opportunity for our team to go on the road. Certainly we're carrying a lot of young guys with us, their first experience in the ACC and in college football, but we're excited. We're excited about playing a really good team on the road on Saturday in Chestnut Hill. So with that, I'll open up to any questions that you have.
There's only about a half dozen teams in the country that are opening with a week. I mean, I know it's kind of catch as catch can sometimes with scheduling and all, but would you rather everyone does it or nobody does it? And is there any pro and con to it?
Again, as I say all the time, I know you guys want a better answer, but the time to complain about the schedule is when it's being made. Right now we're playing BC on the road. That's the way it is, and it's not going to do us any good to make an excuse or to complain about it. I don't think as a coach, honestly, I don't know if there was a coach that would stand up before you that would say, hey, we'd like to play, so-and-so or start a little bit easier. But the reality is that's who we're playing, and that's who Miami has traditionally played. Miami has not traditionally played an easy game to open up the season. So that's the way it is, and like I said, it's a great test for us early in the year, and we'll see how our guys respond Saturday.
The idea that you played them last, how does that, change anything, or, how does that help maybe? Well,
I don't know. I mean, I think they're different teams. I think certainly from their standpoint, they have 41 returning lettermen, and I think we've lost 24 returning. We've lost 24 lettermen, so we're a completely different team. They have, almost all their starters back, including their quarterback, who I think is a big time player. So I don't know. They have a new offensive coordinator, which is certainly something that we have to prepare for, and Coach Martin and Jim Bowman joined them on the offensive line from Ohio State, where he was an offensive coordinator. So I think certainly we'll see a little bit of both those philosophies show up in this offense as well. So again, we'll see where we're at on Saturday, but the reality is last year's game really doesn't have any bearing.
How did the storm affect any of your preparation?
It didn't. No, we just switched days. We were going to take Sunday off. We were going to take Monday off and practice Sunday, and we just switched days.
Last season we talked about physicality and just how this team beat you guys with blood at the line, and that whole focus all season was getting stronger. At the end of camp now, you've seen these guys for 3 or 4 weeks now. Are they a more physical football team than you want them to be?
The Miami Hurricanes? I hope we're more physical. But again, if you're going to test that, this is the right outfit to test it against. They average probably 6'6" up front. They controlled the line of scrimmage against us a year ago. They were physical on both sides. Their defensive tackles on defense are big and strong. The one defensive end is 6'8". Again, they don't beat themselves. They're sound. They have a formula. They run the football. They're one of the best teams in college football over the last 7 years. In terms of defending the run. They control the clock. They don't beat themselves with penalties, and they don't give up explosive plays. So, again, it's a formula that has worked for them. It's tested by time that it's worked for them, and obviously that's what we have to overcome.
Coach, obviously you lost a lot of veterans off of last year's team, and a team that went 6-6. What convinces you that this team is going to, kind of take a step forward despite that?
Yeah, I'm not worried about last year. I think the team is reborn every year. This team's personality is markedly different than last year's team. But again, the challenge, lies ahead. It's not about worrying about any game right now, or really any day, than how we practice today, and then how we prepare the rest of the week, and certainly how we play Saturday.
What gives you confidence in this bunch heading into this first game?
The commitment that they've made, in the off season, the gains that they've made, both in their conditioning and their strength, and obviously the maturity that they exhibited throughout the whole camp. It's been a fun group to coach in camp, and it's a group that has unity, and hopefully they'll carry that unity. They're going to need to. I mean, it's a tough place to play. They're going to need to. I think they're 12-3 in their last 15 openers. BC is. So I mean, it's going to be a tough place to play, and hopefully they'll carry that unity and that energy. And hopefully our young guys will have some poise and just play like they've been playing.
Have the young guys asked you any questions for advice, or what it's going to be like? Have you offered anything?
No. Again, we're just for us, it's 2 acres and a ball. We're really not worried about anything other than executing. And look, there's a lot of guys on that 2 deep that are going to play, and they're going to play early. So we'll get them out there and allow them to go have fun and prepare. We'll prepare them right up, till Friday night, and then let them go have fun and be themselves.
You still had a couple position battles that were kind of into the end last depth chart you gave us. Have those been settled yet?
No, that will go right through Wednesday night, and then again. For us, if it's that close, you'll see both guys in the game. If it's an or situation, you'll see both guys in the game. And our feeling is always whoever practices better, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whoever practices better is going to start the game, and whoever plays better in the game is going to finish it.
You just talking about those positions of wideout, linebacker?
Well, wideout, you're going to see a bunch, just because we're going to rotate them through. It's early in the season. I think it's going to be, 86 degrees or whatever at kickoff, which on the turf is going to be a little bit warmer than that. So we'll rotate all those guys in. You'll see, certainly with all the tight end packages that we have, you'll see those tight ends and all four of those tight ends and you'll see 3 or 4 running backs. So again, we'll rotate those guys in at those positions. Then that's where a lot of your competition is. And I think in the secondary you'll see all those guys. But how we end up, who the starters are going to be at safety and some of the corner spots and defensive tackle spots remains to be seen.
Al, you and Jed both spoke of when the decision was made on Steven. You guys both spoke about how in the spring he really attacked learning the playbook. Along with that, how much better did the spring make him, just in terms of, and he spoke with us this morning about getting to know all 100 guys and not just the 10 he's in the huddle with. How beneficial was that for him?
I think, if he shared that with you, I couldn't agree with him more. I haven't really discussed that with him other than observing it. But, a lot of guys, when they have adversity, they go into a shell or they take a dip in terms of, their energy or their leadership. And I think he went the other way. I think he made himself vulnerable, went out on the edge, got to know his teammates better, developed relationships with guys that he didn't know, maybe guys on the other side of the ball that he didn't know as well. And I think more than anything, he just took a deep breath. And which is what we have to do. We have to get back to doing it. We have to get back to redshirting some quarterbacks so they can learn the game. It's hard enough for them to play at the next level after playing 4 years in college, but they really need an opportunity to study the game and learn the game. And I think that's what he did more than anything, Tim. He learned the game, and he coached, and he studied film, and he didn't just sit there and say, well, I'm going to throw it. And he looked at his weaknesses, and he erased some of them. And I'm excited. I'm as excited to watch him play as probably anybody on our team, and rightfully so.
A lot got made of him walking around with the whistle all spring, and he clearly enjoyed that element of it. Did you and Jed give him free rein to kind of just, do kind of whatever he wanted?
I think the good thing there is Jed put him in charge of one of the freshmen every day. Just working on footwork, working on his reads, working on his preparation, his film study, making sure that they're studying the playbook and they're doing well in their tests. So, again, I think that helped our players. Again, we always talk about PCP, players coaching players, and we're starting to get some of that. And it was interesting because we shared with our team, Reggie Bush on Hard Knocks last week saying that, when it comes from a coach, it sounds like a lot of rules, but it really resonates when it comes from within, and we need that. And I think Steven has provided that for us, along with some other guys.
How much more last year? How much of an emphasis has it been creating turnovers? Obviously, I'm sure it wasn't anywhere near what we wanted.
Yeah, I think the emphasis was there, though, George. We didn't get them. We weren't. Because, to be honest with you, we had to sit back a lot more than we wanted to, more in zone coverages and things of that nature, just because we couldn't attack as much with all the changes we had on the back end constantly, and then certainly playing with really corners that hadn't played there before, so that was difficult. So we really didn't take chances. You look at BC, they're bringing a lot of edge pressure a lot, and they make things happen, and we didn't do that enough, and certainly the opportunities that we did have to catch the ball and intercept the ball, we didn't do that well either. So the emphasis has been there, but again, it's got to come from the players day in and day out. They got to see the ball. They got to disrupt the ball. We're talking about batted balls, knockdowns, and just in general, we got to do a better job with that.
After Steven, how much more mature is he than when he opened up the season last year as a quarterback?
I mean, light years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, light years. I think the confidence that he shows, again, he's He's got more self-confidence right now. He's exuding it. He's led in every aspect that you have to lead in terms of the summer conditioning, the film study, the preparation, the post-practice, pre-practice, whatever. He's done it by example, and I think that's given him, a little bit more, foundation or platform, if you will, to stand on and lead. So I think he's, without question, our leader right now.
A couple of your guys over the last few days have used terms like shock the world or, defy the skeptics,
Yep.
that sort of thing. I know you're about the internal and not the external. Is that the sort of bravado you encourage? Or
No, I would like to put them in the chair that you're in and shock them. That's what I would like to do. I would like to give them a lot of volts.
So obviously you'd rather, not.
I just want to play. Just want to go out and play. Let's be accountable to each other. Let's be internally driven. Let's not talk about it, and let's go be about it. Let's go do it. Stop worrying about the external. Look, if we're worried about the external, we're in for a long year. Somebody asked me about the storm the other day. I said it's been storming for 19 months now. That's the truth. I feel like Lieutenant Dan in the Gulf on a shrimp boat. You can call this a storm. So that's where we're at. We just gotta stop talking and start playing.
What kind of impact advantage do you see the new kickoff rule of it? Because it could be, and I wasn't even aware about this thing on the onside kicks where you have to give the guy
Yes.
the opportunity to catch it when it's bounced.
Okay, so what they're doing now is that, whether you kick it straight up on a kickoff, okay, or you have one short hop and it goes up, the receiving team has an opportunity to fair catch that. So that's going to change everybody's onside kick, and it's a good rule for safety. And then the kickoffs got moved up. I don't know how much of an impact that's going to have on on the game. Certainly, what you'll find out early is every coach's philosophy. In terms of that, are they just trying to kick it out of the end zone? Are they kicking it deep? What are they doing? Are they line driving it? I don't know. I'd be interested to see, but it's going to depend on every kicker's individual leg and what their philosophy is going to be there.
How far is the defensive line? How far has it come in the few weeks of camp?
Again, we're going to find out Saturday. 3:30, I believe. Again, we'll see. I think we've made a lot of progress there, but we're going to be tested early and often in this game, and hopefully our guys will respond.
I think you were along those lines. I think you were quoted at some point either this spring or during camp about how you don't classify guys as freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, the football players now. A year ago, we were talking about Chick being third generation, his great storyline, and now they're talking about him as a leader. Does that illustrate the time frame you kind of want guys to strive for here? You're here for a year, and by the time you're in the second season, that's
Sure.
continue as a leader of a youth.
No, I think that's good, Tim. I think the bottom line is I've never really stood up in front of the team and talked about a senior leader or a freshman leader or a junior leader. To me, if you have leadership qualities and you exhibit them every day in your discipline and your approach every day, and you prepare the same way, and you're the same guy every day, you got consistency, I think then you have a platform to lead. You should lead, and we need more guys to lead. I think Denzel's in that same category. And then you can see the freshman group. Hopefully they'll have guys that will step up and lead. But you need leaders on the team, and then you need leaders in every class, Tim. And I think certainly what we're seeing from Chick is him, moving from being a leader of his class to now being a leader on the team. We need that.
Coach, special teams always an emphasis with you. Is there anybody who stood out and possibly made the trip just because of their special teams?
Well, we have some guys that are certainly in that mix because of it. I don't know if it's just because of their special teams play, but Fentress certainly would be in that group. I think Kidd is in that group. I mentioned Yosha, I think, a week ago as a guy who has a chance because of what he's doing on special teams. There's some other guys, that have done a good job there and are making an impact. And the wide receivers are going to have to play, the corners and safeties, the linebackers. So that's the group that's going to take on Dallas Crawford's another guy. So those guys are all going to have to help us on specials.
Al, is there anybody not traveling to this game that's on the two deep that we would expect to be
No,
traveling?
I don't think. Again, the only guy that we have really right now is, Kirby, and his cast came off today, so hopefully, in a couple more weeks, I don't know how many, 2 or 3 more weeks, we'll have a better idea, but we've been fortunate in that circumstance.
Chantrell Henderson will be probably with
Chantrell is not, he's not in the too deep right now.
so he's not going.
He's not going, no.
How about Gianni, Paul?
I hope so. I hope Gianni's going. I thought Gianni practiced better today. We need him to take a larger role on special teams. But he practiced. I thought he practiced well. He got a lot of reps today.
Obviously, Curtis Porter, obviously as well.
Yeah, Curtis is not in the too deep right now, and he's out.
Shane McDermott, he played last year, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
What can we expect from Shane?
Yeah, again, I think that's another situation where he's got maturity that's beyond his experience right now, and he's tough, he's smart, he's doing a great job with his line calls, and again, he's going to be tested. These 2 inside guys are really physical, and the one guy that is as strong as can be, Quinn, they got him as a backup right now, so if that's the case, those other guys are going to be strong and physical inside, so Shane will be tested, but Shane's done a great job leading and preparing for this season.
Coach, a guy like Brandon Linder just being sandwiched between McDermott and Flowers, the players coaching players, his influence on.
Yeah, I think he's settled. I think he has settled Flowers down. I think I said to somebody yesterday or last week, I don't know. I could promise you one thing. We have never talked about Eric Flowers' age, and Michael standing behind him. We've never talked about his age or his experience or inexperience or anything. And I think a lot of that has to do with Linder, just making sure he's communicating to him and keeping him poised. And I can see even when they run off, Linder's always talking about a certain look and which way we want to slide to protection and things of that nature. So I think having Linder's experience in there is very settling for a guy like Eric Flowers.
What do you expect from Duke Johnson?
Well, we'll see. Right now there's certain touches in the game that he'll get. He's not going to carry the load that Mike will, or certainly that Eduardo will. But we expected him to get him out there and hopefully get him some touches and get him like all the other guys. Let's see how they respond to college football.
Can you just talk a little bit about the way Newton Robinson just climbed the innings at the end and all the way up to start?
Again, I always look at it in terms of the choices he's made, the discipline he's exhibited, the attitude that he's displayed every day. Really since the end of spring ball, everything has changed for him, and I think his confidence is up, his strength is up, his conditioning is better. He knows the little things that we're working on. But that's not really for this conversation. This conversation's about the things that he's given up to get to this point. And we're excited about, obviously the impact and the contribution he's going to make for us on Saturday. He's right there. He's competing to be a starter. And that was not Luther in February and certainly not Luther in March. And again, all the credit goes to the kid.
You guys have tried talking to him on the position switch, right?
It couldn't go on the way it was going on, and again, that conversation, it should have never gotten out because I know I never said it, and then B, whatever I share with any player is confidential. So the reality of that is that it couldn't go on the way it was going on. And he made changes in his life, and he made changes to his approach, and I'm happy for the kid. I couldn't be more happy for someone in terms of the changes they've made and the growth that they've shown.
Al, the noise factor in keeping everyone calm. I know last year at Maryland there was some disorganization with Steven. Was that just because he was thrown in there?
Well, again, I'm not going to make any excuses. We have to do a better job with the noise. The noise is going to be there. We have a tremendous student body. The percentage of students that go to the game is incredibly high. Obviously it's a big game for both universities, ACC game. There's been some great games between the two universities over the years, so I think there'll be anticipation and excitement, so it's going to be loud. But I expect Stephen will be much better than last year.
Anything you could say about Coach Spaziani? I know you have a couple years.
Just tremendous man, class act. Again, I go all the way back to 85 with Frank. He recruited me when he was at Virginia. And I had a chance to work with him at Boston College, and he's always been someone that our family's close with, and just an incredible amount of respect for him. And I think, I think when you look at his teams, they don't beat themselves. They're fundamentally sound. They're well coached, and again, their discipline, is translated by they're always, top 5 or 10 in the country in penalties, which they were last year. And they're tough, they're rugged, they're strong. So again, I think a lot of that has to do with Frank's personality.
What could he have done a little better to convince you to go to Virginia?
I don't know. That's a long story.
Now, including special teams, how many true freshmen do you anticipate playing Saturday?
Again, I true freshman or true freshman, probably 15.
15?
Yeah. 15. I think before it's all said and done, there'll be more, but I think the guys that are ready right now to go in the game, I would say 14 or 15 are going to play.
And did you decide on number 3 QB yet?
Preston Dewey is just a little bit ahead of Gray right now.
You'll be number 3.
Correct.
Saturday.
That's right.
You'll travel with 3 quarterbacks.
Correct.
Is that like an amazing amount to you when you think about years ago, playing 14 or 15 true freshmen, or no?
No, that is what it is. So again, I think somebody said that we have 64 freshmen or sophomores, on the team, and 34 in the 2 deep, and that is what it is. So again, we haven't been a team that's making excuses and worried about that. They just got to go out and perform and play and have fun, just enjoy it. At the end of the day, it's football, and just have some poise and go out and execute.
With regard to the youth of this roster, Al, have you ever illustrated to the guys on this team the comparison between what you have now and what you had at Temple?
No, because I said everything's different. I think what's been really what I think is profound is how the older guys, the Mike Jameses and the Stephen Morrises and the Linders, Shayon Greens, and even guys that aren't that old, Chickalo and them, that are reaching out to these young guys and trying to bring them along, and we're just trying to get these guys through game week now, school starting, so just keep them on task, just stay with the process, just trust it, and that process is going to deliver them. Don't look ahead, just take care of business today, just win today. So that's all we really focus on, just winning every day.
With the new guys you mentioned, even obviously the great new guys have been also.
You guys are making me nervous now, by the way.
What do you learn about your team on Saturday?
We're going to learn a lot. Yeah, I don't think there's any question we're going to learn a lot. I think you could say that every year, but I think we're going to learn a lot about whether these guys can really hold it together and play with poise and trust their technique, and a lot of that can erode with nerves or anxiety, and just stay in there, just go have fun, just go out and play, and we're not putting any undue pressure on them. I think what they were told during recruiting, what they were told when they got here, and what they're being told on game week is all congruent. So I don't think any of it should throw the kids for a loop. I think they all understand why they were recruited to come to the University of Miami, and now they have the opportunity to go do that.
Coach, if there were any other health issues that came up, when's the line for you as far as whether they're able to go or not, or practice?
Well, for me, you got to get one in Tuesday or Wednesday in terms of the health. But I believe, Chris, is it true? I think we released something with the ACC on Thursday. Is that you guys? Yeah, so we released that. So unless we lose somebody in practice, which I hope we don't, knock on wood, but I think what you see right now with our 2 deep is what you're going to get. Okay, guys, thank you very much.